What is up, guys? Today I'm here to do a tool review. This time it's from our friends at Amprobe. Amprobe is a company that many of us are already familiar with. They've in recent years been really ramping up their tool lineup, catering to HVAC professionals. For those that didn't know, Amprobe is a member of the Fluke family, so you have a lot of the same great components in a sometimes more affordable housing. So it makes great tools for entry level and professionals alike that are looking for great quality without necessarily spending the Fluke dollars. About a year ago, I had the ACD14 Pro, and it's been in my smaller tool bags ever since. So I've become familiar with kind of the layout of Amprobe meters. They're pretty good. I mean, they're never far off from the Fluke counterparts that I own already. And I do appreciate the fact that, you know, this meter, for example, does do voltage and amperage simultaneous, which is nice. Fieldpiece does the same thing, and it's just kind of one of those features once you get used to, it's hard not to have it, so it's really nice. But we're not here to talk about the 14 Pro today. We're actually here to talk about something way smaller. In fact, so small, it's been on me this whole time in the camera frame here without you knowing. Yeah, that's it. Look at this. This is the AMP-25. It's a little baby amp clamp with a couple other features. I'm super excited to review it and talk about it. I actually got a package with several Amprobe tools recently, including the new PRM6, the AT6000 series wire tracing system, along with the IRC110. But sometimes the most exciting things come in the smallest packages. Let's go talk about it. Okay, well, it's back in the package now. I just thought I'd show you how it comes when it's shipped to you. We get the AMP-25 itself, we get a neoprene carrying case, and the usual. A little bit of marketing, some literature, as well as a mini CD-ROM to throw in your laptop computer and probably get the same data off the manual. Quick dimensions. Looks like it comes in just under 6 inches at 5 3/4 by about 1 3/4 inches wide. Once the batteries are installed, simply holding down the button will turn the tool on. Battery is full as indicated by the words. And it looks like we have a little ghost reading here. There is a zero out button. If you hold this for a second or two, zeroes it out. It does have an Inrush for measuring Inrush amps on your motors or other loads. You can toggle between AC/DC amps or auto mode, so it will do that for you. There is a hold button if you want to hold your reading. If you're in a position where you can't actually see it as it's happening, you can hold it. And then what I find to be one of the coolest features that makes this possibly worth picking up for yourself is the non-contact voltage testing. There's actually an antenna that runs up the stationary jaw, so it's actually here, runs right up here, and that's your non-contact voltage test. Very cool feature to have on this thing. It kind of makes up a little bit for the fact that there are no leads for other types of readings. Let's go ahead and hook this thing up to a load and compare it with a couple other meters. We'll use my little Variac lamp here, which I can vary the voltage from 0 to 140, and we will go ahead and kind of compare it to a couple other meters, see how it stacks up as far as the calibration and the response. Here we'll take the Amprobe ACD14 Pro, the Fieldpiece SC660, the Fluke 902, and the Amprobe AMP-25. Turn the backlights on all of them. Variac at about 70 volts AC. We have a 0.33 amps detected on the AMP-25. We have a 0.2 on the Fluke 902, a 0.37 on the Fieldpiece SC660, and a 0.33 on the Amprobe ACD14 Pro, which matches exactly to the AMP-25. Let's go ahead and jack this up to typical building frequency of 120, and we are now at 0.45 amps on the AMP-25, 0.4 on the Fluke 902, 0.49 on the SC660, 0.47 on the ACD14 Pro. Okay, I've taken all the other meters off, and I'm now going to take the AMP-25 off, get our backlight back on, go into non-contact voltage mode, and make sure our variac is at 120. Let's go ahead and try that if I turn down to, say, 24. So there's kind of a quick and dirty on what this thing can do. Obviously this won't be a crazy long video because at the end of the day, it's a very simple product that does 3 or 4 things, and I can't speak yet to how well it'll do it in the field, but initially I'm very excited about the potential that this thing has to offer. Let me explain what I mean. I've looked for meters like this in the past. I used to look up and think, man, it would be really cool if I could have a tiny version of a multimeter, the same way that some guys want to be able to carry small versions of any kind of tool for everyday carry. I'm one of those guys that likes the idea of always having, you know, say a screwdriver or a means of cutting or bending on their person, you know, whether that's through a Leatherman, things like that. I have an EDC video for HVAC from about a year ago. I need to redo it and upgrade it, but my mentality stays the same, where I've always wanted to have miniature versions of everything. And I always kind of got turned off because I was like, man, any of the little options they don't have leads. So, you know, it limits what you can do. It's basically an amp clamp. I'm gonna reframe my thinking on this particular tool. Because you add the non-contact voltage test feature to this, I now look at this as my new non-contact voltage tester with the additional ability of taking an amp reading versus looking at it as this is my pocket meter and it sucks because it doesn't have leads. When I look at it that first way, all of a sudden this becomes a very cool tool potentially that I can use as my go-to, keep in my shirt pocket, and go around, and if I'm walking on a roof, something like that, I'm checking for power, or I'm up in a ceiling, do a soft verification of power at a source, and if I want to go ahead and clip it, I can go ahead and take an amp reading in addition as an added bonus. So that's kind of what I'm thinking with this as far as my initial vibes on it and what I'll use it for in the field. Another thing is you could kind of just, you know, clip it on to another small bag you already have, like, you know, the MB2 or any other small tool pouch you have, and just have it as a second means of current readings. So it's definitely a luxury, but it is nice to have the ability to take 2 amp readings simultaneously on different loads. I'll definitely be having it in the field with me for the next few months, so any service calls I have, any videos I come out with this summer that have me in the field, I hope to have this as part of that, and we can go ahead together and see how it works out for me one way or another. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I've been pretty happy with everything I've gotten from Amprobe in the last year or so. I don't have a whole lot of negatives up front. The colors, I guess, the color scheme kind of, I don't know, it reminds me of something. It is kind of weird, you know. I can't really put my finger on it. I'm loving it. But besides that, they've been a pretty solid tool that's been trustworthy, reliable, and a welcomed addition to my service loadout. So thanks for checking out this review today from Amprobe Tools. I'll definitely keep you guys posted on how it performs actually in the field and not just at my desk. What? Act like you guys haven't seen somebody store stuff in their beard before. You've got no idea. I keep all kinds of spare parts in there. Why wouldn't I? I'm always prepared for everything, guys. What if I'm working on an LG mini split in the middle of the night and it's a grounded compressor? Well, just keep a damn compressor on you. Why is that even a question? Get that back in there, and anyways, if you're new to this channel, consider subscribing. I try to show people life through the lens of an HVAC technician with real live footage of HVAC service calls with an epic flair to it, in addition to chats geared towards apprentices considering getting into the field or who are just getting into the field, with a tool review like this peppered in every now and again. And with that, guys, stay safe. We'll see you on the next one.